Welcome back to the reading vlog. Welcome back to the reading vlog. Welcome back to the reading vlog. And welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. Let's go. Yes, hello, and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. I am, of course, Mr. Francy, and I'm truly honoured that you've once again chosen to join me today as I discuss my reading week. I am having a fabulous time. For those of you who are returning, it is wonderful to have you back here. For those of you who are new, hello and welcome. Quite recently, around about a month ago or so, I placed a cozy mystery embargo on myself. What this means is that I've decided to follow my mood, reading, mind, and emotions and limit myself to just one genre, the only genre I really want to read at the moment, which is cozy mysteries. And I've been having an absolute blast since making that decision. So all of the books that you will be seeing in this video and all the other ones at the moment these days are cozy mystery related. I read 3 cozy mysteries during this past week and cannot wait to share all of them with you. So let's jump right on in. So, when we last left off, I was reading this book, Gingerbread Danger. Oh, sorry about that glare. Oh no. Oh no. It's horrible glare. There we go. Gingerbread Danger by Amanda Flower. This is book number, I believe it's number 9. Yes, it is. This is book number 9. It shows how prepared I am. This is book number 9 in the Amish Candy Shop series by Amanda. Oh, it's up there. Amanda Flower. And I absolutely adore this series. Now, in this series, we follow Bailey King, who works at her grandparents' candy shop called Swissman Sweets in Amish country, and it just is an absolute blast. So I remember, my goodness, if you'll allow me to take a trip down memory lane, I need like a pointer. Here we go, this will do. See that book right there facing outwards? That is Assaulted Caramel. I remember the day I found out about that book, saw the cover and went, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. And then the second word being caramel, well, when it comes to my sweets, I am a massive caramel fan. So I thought, oh, this sounds perfect. And I was not disappointed. And so far, Amish Candy Shop has been one of my all-time favorite series. This physical book came out at some point late in 2024, but I just hadn't gotten to it yet, so I finally did in this past week. Where we left off, I was up to chapter 3, and I've now finished the book. So the premise of this particular one is that we continue to follow Bailey King, only this time Bailey is now working in a factory. So this is something that's been a while coming. I'm honestly not going to consider it a spoiler. I'm just saying she's now working in a factory. The rest, I'll leave to your imagination. Anyway, while she is there, there's an event that is going to go down. The town planner, I keep forgetting her name, but anyway, there's a town planner. That's all you really need to know. The town planner woman. She decides that there is going to be some festival thingy that's going to go on, and she wants to make everything kind of look like Candyland, the board game. This is not a board game that I have played before, but I am aware of it. I don't even think you can actually get Candyland in Australia. But anyway, I've seen it obviously with American things. But yeah, she wants to kind of decorate the town like Candyland, and one of the pieces that I guess you use to move around the board, she has made a life-size version of that piece, had that made, and she wants to place that above Bailey's factory. So one of their workers goes onto the roof to put it up there, and the next thing we know, from what we are led to believe, falls off the roof, and unfortunately, he doesn't make it. So unfortunately, that's the end of him, sadly. But yeah, Bailey obviously believes that there is a whole lot more going on there meets the eye, as do a whole lot of other people, so Bailey dons her sleuthing cap once more, and yeah, tries to solve the mystery. I had an absolute blast with this one. I think I gave it 5 stars. I did, yeah. So Just reading what I wrote on Goodreads, and I'll elaborate. What an absolute pleasure it always is to return to Amish country and follow Bailey, Jethro, who is the pig on the cover, and the others, and this time was no exception. From the very first page, I was brought right back to what I love about Amanda Flower and this series, as page 1 was a true pleasure for all the senses. The mystery was intriguing, and I enjoyed each and every moment with this book, including my time with Juliet, Jethro's mum. A true pleasure. What more can I say, but we need more from Amish Candy Shop. And as I said, I gave it 5 stars. Yeah, so quickly unpacking that. In my monthly wraps, I'm very quick with my synopses and thoughts because there's not a lot of time. So I like to spend more time in my reading vlogs unpacking the books. And then in the monthly wraps, I can say, go back to the reading vlogs and check out what I said over there because I spend a lot more time. So here we go, spending the time. The book opens up with Bailey. She is pet sitting Jethro. Jethro is, oh my gosh, there's a whole lot to say about this. So, did I say, what's her name? Is it Juliet? I'm not good with character names. Did I say her name was Juliet? Yes. Juliet, is, Juliet owns Jethro, but Juliet doesn't see Jethro as an animal. She sees Jethro more as like a little child, and she wants Jethro's name to be put in lights. He's a very special pig, and everyone should be aware of that. But anytime that Juliet needs to do something, she kind of just drops Jethro off with Bailey, and Bailey is way too nice to say no, so it just keeps happening. So it's not really surprising that when you open up the book on page 1, Bailey is preparing something at the candy shop. It is gingerbread taffy, but the taffy has exploded all over Jethro. Jethro is absolutely fine, and that is established also on the first page. She made sure that Jethro wasn't burnt or anything. No, he's absolutely fine, but Jethro now smells like gingerbread. It was a feast for the senses. I just absolutely love that very first page. And then, you know, exploring the mystery and things like that as well was a whole lot of fun. I truly enjoyed my time being back in Amish country. I love Jethro. I love Bailey. I love being in Amish country from Bailey's perspective. It's a lot of fun. If you have read this series and you love it, there is a sister series called the Amish, I think they're Matchmaker series. That series follows a protagonist who is Amish, and this series we follow a protagonist who's not Amish, both of them living in the same Amish area. So I think what I love about Amish Candy Shop versus Amish Matchmaker is that while we are in Amish country, we follow someone who is not Amish. So we're following someone that I'm more used to in a setting that I'm not used to, as opposed to the other way around with the sister series. But I really love this series, and I really hope we get one more. I don't know if we will, but it is sorry about the lighting, it always happens. But it is a very successful series, so I'm hoping that we do. But the reason I'm hoping we do with this one is because this is book number 9, and that will get us to the double digits. So I would love to have 10 books in the series rather than end with 9. So can we have one more? Come on, Amanda, please, Amanda Flower, just one more. Come on, do it for your Francy, just one more. It was an absolute privilege reading this book. 5 stars. Now on this channel I do like to have a little bit of fun, and I'm sure that you can see that even if you are new to the channel. You see how energetic I am, and I try to keep the vibe all nice, happy and positive, and that's literally because that's how I am. This is just me, how I am even when I'm not filming. But the thing is, I am absolutely transparent as well. If I don't like something, you gotta know about it. So I loved, clearly, Gingerbread Danger. The next book I'm going to talk to you about, I had some issues with, so just be prepared that Mr. Francy is always very transparent, but also keep in mind that my thoughts are my own. You know, as readers, I say this many times and will continue to say it because I love it as well. We are not a monolith. There are no two readers that are exactly alike. Even if their differences are incredibly minute, so minute they're hard to spot upon first glance, no two readers are exactly alike. But one of the great things about that is we have a plethora of different types of themes in our cozy mysteries because different readers like different things. So with that in mind, the next book that I picked up, all that is to say, the next book that I picked up was a book I was very eagerly anticipating, and it was this book, The Big Chili by Julia Buckley. This is book number 1 in the Undercover Dish Cozy Mystery series, and I gave this book a total of 4 stars. Alright, so let me tell you what I can about this series. So in this series, we follow Lila Drake and her beautiful dog, whose name is Mick. And this book is set in Pine Haven in Illinois. Now, Lila Drake runs this anonymous cooking company. And the reason it's anonymous is because it is a wonderful opportunity for people who don't have time or don't know how to cook to contact her. She'll make whatever it is that needs to be made, drop it off to them before anyone else arrives, and then that person who purchases the dish from her can claim they made it for themselves. I think it's a wonderful idea, and the premise is absolutely amazing. There were just some issues I had with the execution, but the premise for the series, the job that Lila has, is just absolutely a wonderful idea. I don't know if I would like to run a business like this necessarily myself. I like cooking, but I don't like cooking on demand, if that makes sense. But I would love for there to be a company like this that actually exists, where I can reach out to someone who has a company like this and say, yep, cook this for me, arrive before anyone does, and I'll claim it for my own. I think it's amazing. But anyway, so Lila has a client, which there seems to be a grey line there because it's like client/friend. But anyway, a client/friend who hires her to make a whole lot of chili for her bingo night. So Lila does. She arrives. She puts the chili's placed discreetly, and then Lila goes off to mingle in the crowd so no one knows that Lila made the dish. And apparently this woman who Lila hired knows that the only way that people are actually going to sample any of the food that's on the buffet table at the bingo place is for her to sample it herself first. So she does that. Makes sure that everyone can see she is sampling the food. And then after she samples the chili, this woman goes up to the microphone to give a little bit of a speech. And as she gets a little bit of the way through the speech, she starts having a horrible reaction and then yells out the words, "There's something wrong with the chili," and then she's gone. So, Lila, I'm only laughing because it's fiction. Of course, it was reality, it wouldn't be funny, but in fiction, it's funny. Like, seriously, the last thing she said, she didn't care to say, help me, help me. Instead, she's going, "There's something wrong with the chili." Boom, she's gone. I mean, so Lila is in two frames of mind because she's thinking, I made the chili. Am I responsible? I'm pretty sure that I didn't put anything wrong in there. She's been doing this for a long time, this business, so, you would think everything was, up to scratch and whatever. But at the same time, also, because it's an anonymous company, does she actually tell the cops and the detectives that she actually made the dish, given that the whole purpose of her company is to be anonymous? So she's in quite a bit of a conundrum, if you get my point there. But anyway, so eventually, Lila, because obviously this is her friend, so she wants to try and solve the case, so she goes on to do so. And I'll leave the rest there for you. If that sounds interesting to you, then I do recommend picking it up. However, I'm going to give you a very big thing to please be considerate of. I'm still trying to debate if it is Julia Buckley's writing or if it is the audio narrator that I was listening to, or if it was a combination of both. But either way, what I listened to was a very over-dramatized Lila. Anything that she could take that's a little molehill and make a mountain out of it, she did. She was a drama queen and a half. And I'm listening to this book and thinking, because I listen to my cozies while I crochet. So I'm listening to the book, I'm crocheting along and thinking, wow, you're dramatic. Wow, you're dramatic. Oh my goodness. And you're dramatic again, seriously. And then one of her longtime friends turns around and goes, "Oh, Lila, I love being your friend. You're so dramatic." It's like, no, it's just me. Even your friend is saying you're dramatic. So please do be mindful that if you like your cozies with rather level-headed, male-female amateur sleuths, then That's not what you're going to get here. You're going to get a very dramatic sleuth who, anytime something small happens, she's going to blow that up into a very big thing. So just be ready for that, because I was not ready for that. Because you're spoiler-free wise, because this book is well known. And so for those in the cozy mystery community, if you haven't read cozies before, maybe you don't know of this one. Or if you have, but you're not part of a cozy mystery community, maybe you don't know of this one. But those in cozy mystery communities, yeah, this is circled. We all know about this series. And people talk about the culinary side. They talk about the mystery side. I'm yet to hear anyone say Lila is incredibly dramatic. Be warned. So I was not ready for it. But in saying that, I actually thought that it was a good book. I just wasn't ready for how much drama Lila was going to come with. So let me tell you what my thoughts that I've written on Goodreads, which is literally, Lila is a drama queen and a half. Then after that, I said, take that how you will. You'll either be thrilled to know that or put off to know it, but it is just the case. Anytime anything happens, I feel like Lila was screaming about it. Granted, I listened to the audiobook and that could have just been the narrator's choice, but if so, their choice does seem to match the character. That aside, the book was culinary. However, I feel like it could have gone further for my liking. Yes, absolutely. So, anyone out there who wants to recommend an amazing culinary cozy mystery to me that is available both on audiobook and on physical book, and you want it to be the book that I give the gold medal to, because I love my culinary cozies no matter what. But if you want me to give this the highest accolade, then here's what I'm going to tell you. I want 10 out of 10 culinary. If you're going to tell Mr. Francy this is going to be the culinary book for you, then I want to see at least a third of the book be focused on food. If it's not, then it's less culinary than I would like. Now, does that mean it's not a culinary book? Does that mean it's a horrible book? No and no. It's just my own personal preference. If I'm going to go into a culinary cozy, I want it to be extremely culinary and not, here's a little page here, here's a little page there, and because we had this little page here and this little page there, it's suddenly a culinary cozy. I get it. There are culinary aspects, and so no matter how minimal they are, that makes it a culinary cozy. I totally get that. But for me, I want like 10 out of 10 culinary cozy. And I feel like Amish Candy Shop definitely fulfills that vibe. And there are others that I can't think of off the top of my head, but there are others that definitely do fill that vibe as well. I feel like the Hayley Powell Food and Cocktail Mystery Series does, even though her job, at least at the beginning, is working at a like a newspaper company. It's extremely culinary. We're talking about food all the time. Where this, to me, out of 5 on the culinary scale, I'd give it a 1 or 1.5, maybe a 2 if you're pushing it. Of course, at the beginning, she's talking about the chili. We don't see her make the chili. That's important for you to know. She starts off in the car with the chili already in the car, taking the chili to the person. Where if I was writing the book, it would be, I would start with her making the chili and then taking it somewhere. So we miss that aspect. The only culinary aspect in the first couple of pages is there are dishes that she made that are in the car. Rather what I want to see for a 5 out of 5 culinary is I want to see her in her kitchen making the actual chili, talking about how it smells, how it tastes, why she does certain things with the dish. That's what I want to see for a gold star culinary. This is still a good book. Yeah. It's just, it's not as culinary as I would like. Now that we understand each other, I'll keep going. But anyway, I am getting as dramatic as Lila with this review. I'm so sorry. Anyway, yeah, so just not as culinary as I would have liked it to have been. But there were some very humorous moments in the book that had me laughing out loud, and I really appreciated that. Yeah, very much so. I have to say, I if I'm going to go into a culinary cozy and it's not going to be as culinary as I like, but it's going to make me laugh out loud several times, then you still got a good book on your hands, in my opinion, because I don't laugh often with cozies. I wish I did. I wish that I came across more humorous ones, but I did with this one, so I appreciated that. Yeah, I will continue on with the series. It's not on my SAS list, but it is on my A to Z bingo board challenge. It is book number F. I was way off. It's book number F in my A to Z bingo board challenge, which means that I am planning on at least reading the first 2 to cross off that prompt, but I don't think I'm going to be reading book number 2 anytime soon. I think it's going to be in like July or August or something like that, just because of the way my TBR has worked out for the rest of the year. So 4 stars from me for this one, and I think I've talked more than enough about it, so I will move on to the next book. The next book that I picked up is a book that I started yesterday and finished today, and it is book number 1 in the Northwood Mystery Series. It is called Resort to Murder, and it's by Annie McEwen. Gorgeous cover, by the way. Really, really beautiful cover. Now, I gave this book 4 stars, right? Yes, I gave this book 4 stars. Okay, now in this book we follow, what is her name? Emmy Cooper. We follow Emmy Cooper. Emmy has had a tough backstory, and it's not a spoiler, so I'm just going to tell you what happened. Emmy was working as an interior decorator back interstate somewhere, and she had some clients that called in and complained about her, so she was let go of her company. Of the company, after being there for at least 5 years. So she ends up going home to Northwoods to her family's resort, where she's just going to go and be with them for a bit while she's getting back on her feet, basically. Okay, sounds great, right? So on that first night, these people arrive because, what are they? Just a moment. A ruthless development company is pressuring the property owners of this area. Now, the entire area is called Lake Covington. Specifically, the resort that she is at is Northwoods. But yeah, Lake Covington is the big area. So the ruthless development company is pressuring Lake Covington property owners, including Emmy, our protagonist's family, to sell their land so they can build an extravagant modern resort that would ruin the quaint aesthetic, it's a word I don't like to use, of the area. Things only get worse when Emmy finds a dead body of one of the developers floating in the lake outside of her family's resort. None of this is a spoiler because it all takes place within the first 2 or 3 chapters. Now, that's fine. Great. Wonderful. Now let me tell you some things in a spoiler-free way. She sees the body. We called the cops and the detective and all that. That's not a spoiler. It happens in every cozy, so I can say that much. The detective arrives, and instead of Emmy being all, oh my goodness, someone died outside my family's resort, no, Emmy keeps thinking, oh, this guy is really attractive. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous is this detective? Oh my gosh, I have a crush on him. Why? Why are we not worried that someone died outside your resort? Like, what the heck? She really doesn't seem to care. She even... I'm getting way too animated here, but... she even scolds herself internally, saying, I shouldn't be thinking this. I should be worried about, the dead person. But oh my gosh, he's so attractive. Dude, you just said it to yourself. What the heck? But anyway, I had issues with the book. I gave it 4 stars though. And let me explain why. So, okay. So we have that moment. Person dies. Cops and detective are called. Crushy moment, as in I have a crush on you, detective. Crushy moment happens. She and her best friend reunite. While they're reuniting, they're having crushy moments. Like, oh, I have a crush on this one, I have a crush on this one, you have a crush on this one, you crush. And seriously, I'm thinking, this is a contemporary. No, it's not. It's a romance. It's not a cozy. I don't know what it is, but it's not a cozy. It's like a contemporary. But it's also a romance, but it's like a teen romance, but it's meant to be an adult, cozy mystery. What is going on here? I know someone died, but but even our protagonist doesn't care that he died because she cares more about the fact that the detective is really attractive. I'm sorry. I shouldn't care this much, but I do. I care about my cozies. Anyway, so then so the series is the North Woods Cozy Mystery Series. I understand that. But the book is called Resort to Murder. So therefore it's implying that the occupation will be to do with a resort. First of all, we get next to nothing about the resort in the book. Why? Tell me, is this just me or what? Like, because if you're different to me, it's totally fine. It makes sense why it happens, because if you don't like it, then good, the author's doing the right thing. But for me, if I go into a cozy mystery because the occupation sounds interesting and I'm not seeing enough about that occupation, it's gonna annoy me, because I get that a cozy mystery has a mystery, but it also has that cozy side. And the cozy side is meant to be the occupation. So why are we not seeing the resort? We do see the resort, but we hardly see the resort. And it took a very long time, and I mean, how much time do you have? I mean, it took a very, 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 very long time to finally get inside the resort and go for a walk around. By the time we got there, it's like, oh, okay, we're finally at the resort. Rather than, oh yeah, show me around the resort. But anyway, and I think we walked around maybe once more at a later stage, and that was it. Now, here's one other thing. If you go into your cozy mysteries for the mystery, be prepared with this one. And I'll tell you why. And I can tell you this, because this is not a spoiler, it's a generalization. The sleuthing starts close to the halfway mark of the book. And I'm not kidding. You can ask anyone who's read this book. The sleuthing starts close to the halfway mark. I've never read a cozy that's done that before. I've read cozies where the murder might, if it's a murder, 99% of the time a cozy mystery is a murder. The murder takes place maybe a third of the way into the book, but the murder takes place, I think or the dead body or whatever is the victim, the victim is found, I think at the end of chapter 1 or the beginning of chapter 2, and we have to wait until just about the halfway mark until our protagonist says, you know what? I think I might investigate this. I might check things out and see what I think about this and try and invent. Really? What have we been doing the rest of the time? Well, my friends, I'm glad you asked. We've been having a contemporary romance time. And I don't mean we're even actually having an actual romance. It just feels like a romance because she's hanging out with her girlfriend. That's a girlfriend. And they're talking about crushes and whatever. Like, this is not a cozy. But anyway, then, once the investigation begins, oh my gosh, I loved it. I fell in love. And if we could have just kept chapter 1 and chapter 2, and then cut out everything between chapter 2, between chapter 2 and the walk around of the resort. So just go on chapter 1, chapter 2, walk around the resort, then cut out everything from when we finish walk around the resort to when she finally starts solving the case, and kept everything else, 5 stars. Absolutely. But because it took so long to get anywhere, it really frustrated me. And a lot of people that I'm buddy reading this with have given it like 3 or 3.5 stars, and I totally get why. But I'm giving it 4 because of a number of reasons. One, once it started to get going, it really got going and it improved for me. And 2, this is Annie McEwen's first ever cozy mystery. I'm going to give the author a chance here. So, I think once she actually really started going in the cozy mystery direction, it was amazing. So I am looking forward to picking up book number 2, but please do know that I will not be picking up book number 2 next month. It's just that I have way too many other books that I need to get to first. But I will be picking up book 2 and potentially also book 3 in May. But yeah, 4 stars for this one. Just be mindful. It is a very slow, non-cozy mystery start. And then we get somewhere around about the halfway mark and then it gets good. Okay, there you go. Alright, so in the time we have left, what's going to be happening moving forward? The next book that I plan to pick up is this book, 50% Off Murder by Josie Bell. I started this today. I think I've read maybe like 2-3 pages. So far, so good. Really excited. The next one I'm going to pick up is on my SAS list, Biscuits and Slashed Browns by Maddie Day. This is the next book in the Country Store Cozy Mystery series. Then I'm going to pick up Sprinkle with Murder by Jen McKinley. And then I think we will still have time. And if we do, Sherry, I need to shout you out because I'm very, very, very excited. My dear friend Sherry got me onto this series. It is the first book in the Deputy Donut Cozy Mystery series, Survival of the Fritters. But in the meantime, that is where I'm going to leave it, letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind and love one another and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading. Bye, everyone.